or sisters that may have fallen this year, as well as one particular sister, Lauren Charles Stewart. I'll say a bit about Lauren a little bit later in this meeting, but we just have one moment silence for our fallen sisters. Thank you, ladies. This evening's or this afternoon's proceedings, we are constitutionally bound to mention that this meeting, I would like to move a motion, I should say, that this meeting will be held virtually or in person from now on. Are there any objections to that motion? I think the silence says no, so we continue. We are here today to not take up too much of your time, but to report on the alumni's proceedings for the last fiscal year and to elect officers, to select officers in the executive. Before we go on, however, we'd like to remind you of our meeting rules. So just give me a minute. I'm trying to share. I'm trying to actually give you a full screen view. All right. So please be reminded when logging in, use your full name. We'd like to know that you were here. If you are unable to do so, if you have not done so, a couple of our executive members will be sending you a private message to remind you to do that. It's all way of ensuring that we know which members are in the meeting. Voting. First, to be able to vote, we need to be in good financial standing. You can only vote if you are on Facebook. You cannot vote from the YouTube stream, the YouTube live, or from the Instagram page. Yes? If asking a question, please be reminded to raise your hand so you can use the raise hand icon, or you can post a question in the chat. I'll be reminding us of these rules as we go along, but it's the usual meeting rules, so we should be okay around with that. Okay, so as we go ahead, I'd just like to introduce our current executive. All right, ladies, yes, forgive me, I turned off my mic by mistake. Yes, so our current executive members are Alicia Sylvester, President, Vice President Soneria Williams, Secretary is Candice Marks, Assistant Secretary is Carly Jeffers Bilal, our Treasurer is Jacinta Simangal, our Assistant Treasurer is Stacey Christopher. The Public Relations Officer is Alana Sampson. Our Assistant Public Relations Officer is Asha Stewart. Trustees are Pamela Batiste, Patricia Hines, and myself, Nicole Noel. Just a note, Lauren Charles Stewart, who we asked a minute of silence for at the beginning of this meeting, was quite an active member of the Character Development Program team, which works kind of as a function of the alumni. It's made up of alumni members, but it works very closely along with the school and the girls that are actually at the school at this moment. So Lauren was quite an invaluable contributor to the alumni's ability to pivot in these times, as she was the driving force behind last year's virtual meeting. So we definitely do miss her this year. So as we move quite right along, right, we get into the reading of the 2019-2021 minutes.
Good afternoon, ladies. These are the minutes for the Alumnae's annual general meeting held on October 10, 2020 via Zoom. Present were Tammy Cato, President, Denise Lanos, Nurse Assistant, Valicia Sylvester, Vice President, Jacinta, Treasurer, Denise Lanos, Nurse, Assistant Treasurer, Secretary, myself, Candice Marks, Assistant Secretary, Melanie Shepard, PRO, Alana Sampson, Assistant PRO, Chanel Lazama, Pamela Batiste, Trustee, Nicole Noel, Trustee, and Patricia Hines, Trustee. The AGM commenced at 5:15 p.m. Chairperson Candice Marks. Agenda item 1, the chair welcomed those present to the AGM and introduced them to members of the executive. A prayer was said. Agenda item 3, a report on activities of the alumni was delivered by the president. Agenda item 4, a report on the income and expenses of the alumni was delivered by the treasurer. Agenda item 5, election of officers. The duties of the respective officers up for elections were read out by the presiding officer according to Article 8 of the Constitution. The presiding officer explained the voting process to members present. Nominees were invited to give a brief bio about themselves and what would make them a good candidate for the position, for their respective positions. For the post of Assistant Treasurer, the nominees were Asha Stewart and Stacy Christopher. Stacy won with 13 votes to Asha's 4 votes. For the post of Assistant PRO, the nominees were Asha Stewart and Sonia Rhea Williams. Sonia Rhea Williams withdrew and Asha was voted in unopposed. For the post of Assistant Secretary, the nominees were Colleen Jeffers, Bilal Jeffers, and she was voted in unopposed. For the post of President, the nominees were Sonia Rhea Williams, who declined the nomination, Crystal Shade Hepburn, who declined the nomination as well, Tammy Cato, who declined the nomination, and Valicia Sylvester was nominated and she was voted in unopposed. The Vice President's position became vacant as Valicia Sylvester had been elected president. For the post of Vice President, nominees were Sonia Rhea Williams, and she accepted the nomination and was voted in unopposed. Questions were raised about the treasurer's report, and the president assured members that a detailed report with the alumni income and expenses for the past year will be emailed to members in the coming weeks. A question was raised with regard to the school's relationship with the PTA and getting support for events, to which the vice president stated that it was not a very good one, as their sorry about that, ladies. The video is, sorry, the video is distorted. I don't know why you can't see me, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, great. I think you can see me now. Sorry. A question was raised with regard to the school's relationship with the PTA and getting support for events, to which the vice president stated that it was not a very good one, as there was some discord from the then principal when it comes to initiatives, and very little support was given, but there was still hope. PTA initiatives were not usually highlighted. Alison Harper of the class of 79 suggested that we look at other more out-of-the-box options when it comes to fundraising events, as the general public is searching for something extra to do on public holidays, etc. For example, an Independence Day function or something of the sort. Valjean Hickson, Maureen Belafana, and Arlene Richardson made a cash donation towards the alumni on behalf of the classes of 71 and 72, and are seeking to get more persons involved in the alumni. A vote of thanks was done by the president, thanking members for their participation and their continued support toward the college and the alumni initiatives. The AGM ended at 6:45 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. At this time, I'd like to move a motion that the 2019-2020 minutes be confirmed. Can I have someone confirm the minutes, please? Can I have someone confirm the minutes, please?
We have our President Felicia Sylvester confirming.
Thank you. Minutes are confirmed by Felicia Sylvester. And may I have a seconder?
We have our Treasurer Jacinta Simongo seconding.
Thank you. Seconded by Jacinta Simongo. So we are moving to the President's and the Treasurer's report. Feedback will be welcome for both reports. However, we're going to ask you to hold your feedback until after both reports have been read. So at the end of the President's report and the Treasurer's report, we're going to ask you to hold your questions till then. Thank you. So, Ms. Sylvester.
Oh, you just have it there. Oh. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I will just take a few minutes of your time to deliver my address for 2020-2021. The executive of St. Francois Girls College Alumnae has had a quiet yet productive year. despite the constraints placed on us by the continuation of the global pandemic COVID-19. Following the October 2020 AGM and elections, the new executive positions included President Felicia Sylvester, Vice President Sonia Ria Williams, Assistant Secretary Carleen Jeffers-Bilal, Assistant Treasurer Stacey Christopher, and Assistant Public Relations Officer Asha Stewart. Despite my initial reluctance to assume the position of President, I accepted and began to formulate a plan to achieve a functional body, acknowledging at the onset my limitations due to my life adjustments, demands, and commitments. I established committees or teams to execute the objectives of the organization, thus spreading the responsibilities throughout the entire executive. The committees formed as follows: Policy Planning and Implementation, which included myself, Sonia Ria, Pamela Batiste, and Patricia Hines. The Finance Fundraising Committee, headed by Treasurer Jacinta, ably assisted by Assistant Treasurer Stacey Christopher and Assistant Secretary Carleen Jeffers-Bilal. The Public Relations team consisted of PRO Alana Sampson, Assistant PRO Asha Stewart, and the Secretary Candice Marks. Membership Committee comprised Vice President Sonia Ria Williams, Trustee Nicole Noel, and Assistant PRO Asha Stewart. The teams all agreed to ensure that our alumni community is engaged and to conduct the affairs of our members effectively. Activities and highlights. Activities were few during this year due to COVID-19 restrictions and the full effects of the new online environment. Please bear in mind that despite these challenges, we must continue to find ways to generate revenue other than through membership, donation, and the sale of memorabilia to assist our little sisters. Notwithstanding these limitations we faced, the following undertakings were a success. Finance and Fundraising Committee planned and effectively executed a Taste of Christmas. This fundraiser was a pivoted version of the regular annual pan, parang, and pork. The curbside pickup event format was a tremendous success. The executive, as a result, was able to contribute to the much needed IT upgrade in the amount of $20,000 following the fundraiser, and a further contribution of $25,832 in June of 2021. 2 laptops secured from past pupils were also donated to students in the 6th form. The finance team secured the facility of online banking. This is now a frequent choice for business transactions of the alumni, inclusive of the payment of annual subscription fees. Public relations and membership teams merged. These 2 committees worked assiduously together throughout the year to create interesting social media content with the aim of engaging potential and current members. To date, there are 667 subscribed alumni. The GGBW, the Green, Gold, Black and White check-in series. This initiative was created with the aim of engaging members by highlighting the success of the alumni in various fields. It was viewed as an opportunity to foster great pride among past and current sisters. Season 1, hosted by fellow alum Taika Phillip, comprised interviews held with alumni in the fields of art, fashion, life coaching, branding, health, and wellness. There have been over 1,000 views of the episodes to date. The Secretariat undertook the task of ensuring the compilation of documents, making them accessible to the necessary parties. This initiative readily allows for succession planning as relevant information is made available for future use. This project is approximately 85% complete. It included the uploading of all documents to the Google Drive, as well as the compilation of an inventory of all St. Francis Girls College alumni executive memorabilia. Policy planning and implementation. This committee was established to enable us to begin the process of structuring the organization for sustainability. The focus, therefore, was on institutional strengthening, capacity building, policy development, documentation, monitoring, and evaluation. Maintaining communication with our stakeholders remained of importance to the executive. During this period, we have met with the principal informally on a few occasions via pop-up visits by the president or members of the finance team, and formally via a meeting held on April 1st, 2021. In attendance were Vice President Sonia Ria Williams and Trustee Patricia Hines. We also hosted a team building exercise with Dr. Dolly held on November 28, 2021. This program achieved the goal of guiding the executive to function as a productive, close-knit unit. We discovered that we all want the same outcome, even though we exude different dominant tendencies. We learned how to better understand each other and communicate with compassion while always remembering our purpose. Meeting with the past presidents. This meeting was held with past presidents of the alumni on July 31st to encourage collaboration and the sharing of experiences, lessons learned, and ideas on the way forward. The recommendations of the formation of a past presidents club was endorsed by the past president, and we anticipate getting this initiative up and running in the new term. The North American chapter of the alumni. This committee reached out to Dr. Webb of the North American chapter and proposed a meeting. Unfortunately, because of the competing activities on our part, we were unable to convene the meeting with Dr. Webb and her team. We hope to have this meeting early in the new term. We look forward to a fruitful collaboration. The PTA. Correspondence received from Mr. Ramirez, President of the PTA, indicated their commitment to the alumni with regards to supporting and developing the students. They are currently in the process of affording us a space on the Constella app, which is the school's main form of communication. This will allow us to direct access to the school community for sharing of our activities and serve as a constant reminder of the alumni's presence. Other alums. FOBA, QRC Old Boys Association, Holy Name Convent, St. Joseph Convent, Bishop's Amnesty, Past Pupils Association. This year there was an attempt at an online event. However, COVID restrictions and other constraints made this impossible. We do, however, seek to remember to keep partnerships with our usual associations on various events. We are encouraged and recognized over the years that these partnerships and alliances do help us to build camaraderie, learn from each other, share strategies, explore resources, and enable us to understand how we function more effectively as an alumni and be of benefit to our members and stakeholders. We are really looking forward to some activity in the new term. Policies and documentation. The following policies were crafted during the period. These documents were much needed in guiding the business of the alumni in a formal setting. The finance policy, service level agreements, terms of reference for various positions and committees of the alumni. This item is still a work in progress. The year in review. The mid-year review was held virtually on July 10, 2021, and allowed for members of the executive to assess the progress made thus far in implementing the planned projects and to determine the way forward, including priorities until the end of the term. We were able, in a relaxed setting, to share information, perspective, concerns, give and receive constructive feedback. We examined our interpersonal communication and dynamics and evaluated our team's performance. This session was conducted in July and it was facilitated by Patricia Hines, minus the snacks, with assistance from Sonia Ria Williams. It revealed that most of the tasks we had set for the year were indeed accomplished. We continue to learn and grow. Great job, team. The wider alumni. The North American chapter has yet again made a significant contribution via donations of 28 refurbished laptops for distribution to our students. I kindly ask that anyone who can access and provide laptops, new, refurbished, or gently used, please do so via the Alumnae Executive. Many of our little sisters are still without devices, and these efforts will definitely fill a void. The class of 1979 has continued to spearhead and implement the character development program. Dr. Donna May Knight continues to take the lead and solicit the support and assistance of past students who are committed to this cause, for which we are truly grateful. We invite you in your respective year groups, friendship groups, to join with us to do more for our beloved school. Upcoming events include the 60th anniversary. Stacey Christopher is the project lead for this item. Welfare program. This initiative will be headed by Nicole Noel. An office space, which is something that is much needed, will be headed by myself, Felicia Sylvester. I take this time to say thank you to the members of the current executive for their hard work and dedication throughout the year. It was indeed a challenging year, but we rallied, and for that, I am extremely grateful. A special thank you to those who are demitting office at this time. You will be missed. Our treasurer, our feisty treasurer, Jacinta Simangal, has served tirelessly in several capacities over 6 years, beginning in the post of trustee, which she served in that capacity from 2015 to 2018, followed by assistant treasurer 2018 to 2019, and her current position as treasurer 2019 to present. Jacinta is the mother figure of this group, the nurturer. She has always kept us grounded and passionately reminds us that the students of St. Francois Girls College must be our focus in all decisions made. Her contributions to the executive have been invaluable. Our secretary, Candice Marks, is also a long-serving member. Candice shared her talents with us from 2017 to 2020 in her current capacity. Her presence and involvement in every activity and every event is second to none. Helpful, supportive, willing to go the extra mile. Your level of commitment is appreciated, and you too will truly be missed. On this executive, we try our best to keep our sisters who demit office close to us. Jacinta and Candice, even though you will no longer be on the executive, we know that you both will still be very much involved in the fundraising and PR committee. I ask those of you present today to consider being part of the executive. It is a commitment of generally 1 meeting per month, which goes a long way to lend a hand to our alumni community. To our sisters overseas, the North American chapter, I extend a sincere thank you for your unwavering support. Special mention must be made to Dr. Astrid Webb, Portia Golding, and as well as Joanne Spencer Phillips Spencer, my apologies. Your contributions to the school are thoughtful and pertinent, and as stated before, we look forward to a super relationship in the future. Gratitude goes out to all past presidents, Jillian Roach, Donna Romilly, Celicia Andrews, and Tammy Cato, who continue to give up their time, talents, ideas, skills, and resources to selflessly to the St. Francois Girls College alumni. The executive continues to be richer from having your support. Stronger together is the mantra. No president's report is complete without the mention of Mrs. Ford, whose energy, enthusiasm, positivity, prolific ideas, and tangible support never go unnoticed or unappreciated. I'll call her Vanessa now because she'll say I'm not your teacher anymore. Vanessa, thank you for always being there for us and for your unwavering commitment to St. Francois Girls College and the alumni. From our heart to yours, we truly appreciate and love you. To Mrs. Teacheran and the staff of the school, we see you, we feel you. Thank you for making the integration with the school so much easier than it previously was. We look forward to an excellent and effective working relationship with you. It has already begun. The invitation to greet our newest batch of little sisters at their formal orientation on Wednesday, the 22nd, was very much appreciated. Thank you to all alums who continue to support us in various ways. I truly appreciate being part of a sisterhood that is strong, vibrant, and full of intelligent and talented women who share the common goal of assisting our alma mater and providing the enabling environment to encourage our little sisters to grow and realize their full potential. Now more than ever, let us ensure that this powerful statement, my St. Francois, your St. Francois, our St. Francois, resonates with all of us in a special way and propels us to action. Thank you. I find that.
Thank you, Ms. Sylvester. Oh, and my screen is distorted. Okay, that's much better. Thank you, Madam President. You know, Felicia spoke about a number of things that we were able to do despite the COVID challenges. So we just have a slideshow presentation for you so that you can get an idea of some of the things that we were able to do. And, just let you know that we still interacted and still got your business done over this year. So if our assistant PRO can go ahead and share that slideshow. Thank you very much, Asha. Just a reminder, ladies, that we are sharing on YouTube as well as we're streaming on Instagram Live. So you can tell on Facebook, sorry. So you can tell your friends, tell your classmates that they can join us if they have not already done so for the afternoon. Again, remind you of the house rules because the feedback session is coming up soon. And if we need to ask a question, we have to use the raise hand function, or we can ask the question in the chat. My suggestion to you, however, is to use the raise hand function. It might be more efficient. We can quicker get to you that way. Another reminder that everyone voting this afternoon should be a registered financial member as in you have paid your fees. Anyone being elected this afternoon should also be a financial member. As just a gentle reminder of the rules for this afternoon. Okay. Our final reminder, right, quite importantly, is that voting can only take place via Zoom. Hence, I'll ask you to register. We need to know who's here, and we also need to know, who we can allow to vote. So we're voting via Zoom, and that means that unfortunately, those of us that are on Facebook and on the YouTube channel cannot vote this evening unless you're on booth. Right, so our treasurer's report this afternoon is going to be given by our outgoing treasurer, Mrs. Jacinta Simangal. So I'd ask Jacinta to just go ahead. Ready. Yes, Jacinta, you can go ahead.
Hi, okay. Thank you, Val, for those kind words. It was very sweet of you. Good evening, fellow alums. It is my pleasure to present you the financial report for the period July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. I will highlight features of our COVID response and key expenses mentioned in the report before you, and I will end with a summary of our finances. Overview. Well, COVID, due to the current COVID pandemic, which, as we all know, affected health as well as socio-political systems throughout the world, there were challenges felt in every aspect of life in this country, with no small implication for our approach to our finances. We nevertheless, and with all enthusiasm, executed our annual fundraiser, which we termed A Taste of Christmas, which was a drive-through pickup lunch which took place on the grounds of our alma mater. Our profits realized were $26,861. One of the implications of the pandemic was a shift in education from a face-to-face delivery to online delivery. Our alma mater found itself in a difficult situation to fund this change. The alumni kindly donated an initial sum of $20,000 to the school towards internet connectivity. We donated a further $7,433.72 towards the installation of protective barriers in the admin office at our alma mater. The executive acquired 2 refurbished laptops donated by a past student by our assistant treasurer, Mrs. Stacy Christopher. There was a picture earlier of that. These 2 laptops were donated to the school for use by 2 students. We also assisted another student with a grant of stationery in the sum of $500. Donations total the sum of $5,300. We are grateful to some of our past students, the North American chapter, Queen's Royal College, and Dr. Kenneth Charles of the University of the West Indies for their assistance towards our alumni. Subscriptions, dues, total $7,950. Disbursement expenses. Training was given to the finance team. The course we went to entitled Record Keeping and Cash Management, the cost of which was $300, was held virtually and was facilitated by Mr. Wood through NETCO training facilities. Other alumni. We continue to contribute to other alumni to the sum of $2,512.50. AGM, September 2020, the expenses towards the hosting of our annual general meeting, $3,115. Okay, so the financial details are such. Opening balance as at the 1st of July 2020, $216,638.72. Our bank balance at the end of the period, which is June 30th, 2021, $218,529.15. Our cash in hand, which is our petty cash, is $956.25. Total receipts for the period, $76,580. Total expenses or disbursements for the period, $74,689.57. Okay, that's it for the financial details. I'd like to thank you all for listening. And as the president said, I take my leave today. So I'd like to thank the former presidents, Alicia Gomes Andrews, Tammy Cato, and Valicia Sylvester for their leadership during my tenure. It was an honor. It was an extremely fulfilling experience for me being a part of this sisterhood. I'm going to cry. I still miss Jana, who did this job, and it is a job, but she did it effortlessly. This past year was challenging, as Val said, as all members of the executive can attest to, but we came through it without blows. We said our truths quietly, some like me, not so quietly. Maybe feisty, as Val said, and as I would like to see, but we worked together for our alma mater. And that, my sisters, is the bottom line. We serve our school, a school of which I am proud to be part of. So I'd like to wish the incoming executive all the best for the coming year. And I'd like to close by thanking my assistant, who is always at my side. We have traveled all over this country looking for cheap or reasonable things for our fundraisers. She drives a red van. All of St. Augustine knows this red van. So I thank her and I thank the executive for their patience, for their assistance throughout the past year. Thank you, ladies. Cheerio. Through next.
Thank you very much, Jacinta. Right, the board will not be the same without you. That is definitely for sure. Stop crying. Oh, she's laughing now, eh? Ladies, she's laughing. She's not crying. And behind her, you can see her assistant treasurer. At this moment, we'd like to open the floor for any questions that you may have. Regarding either report. I'm going to ask for assistance at this session from Asha Stewart. So ladies, if you have a question, you can just raise your hand and we'll unmute you. Jacinta, is that a raised hand I see?
Afternoon, all. Next, I just wanted to give a gentle reminder that we have decided to allow voting for for persons who haven't paid their subscription for this year, and we will allow them 2 weeks reprieve that they can pay their subscriptions, hence enabling them to vote at today's AGM. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Stacey, noted.
Yes.
Yes, so any other questions? Going once, going twice? All right, I'm seeing no raised hands. So, well, that is it first, ladies. No questions. If there are none, we're going to go to, I'm just verifying before I move on. Are there no more questions? Yes.
A question from Helen.
Yes. Go ahead, Helen. Helen, unmute your mic, or have you all unmuted her? Helen, we're not hearing you. Okay, no, she's unmuted. I'm seeing that you're not muted, but we're still not hearing you. I'm seeing that you're speaking, but nothing at all. Can you type it in the chat, Helen? Can you type the question in the chat? Helen? No, still not hearing you. So type the question in the chat and we'll direct it to whomever from there. While Helen is typing, does anyone else have a question? That's okay, Naima. We see you though. We're glad you're here. Right, ladies, just indulge us. We're trying to assist Helen here. All right, so what I'm going to keep Helen's question, in fact that she's asking a question in mind, but what we're going to go to is a few words from the North American chapter, which is a vital part of St. Francois Girls College alumni. Oh, okay, I'm seeing Helen's question here. Oh, it's a comment? Yeah. Okay, Helen is saying, oh, there's a great improvement in the presentations of reports. I thank the ladies for their hard work. Oh, thank you very much, Helen. That's most appreciated. And ladies, we look forward to your feedback. Yes, so greetings this afternoon from the North American chapter are going to be brought by Dr. Astrid Webb. Well, Dr. Webb is no stranger to the alumni. She's the president of Healthy Kinda International and is a global award-winning expert on health and wellness. She's a globally recognized cultural competency trainer and a public speaker, and is currently a board member of the St. Francois Girls College Alumni Association chapter in North America. And Dr. Webb is the first recipient of the North American chapter's inaugural Virtute Vera Award. So ladies, I welcome Dr. Webb on your behalf.
Pleasant good evening to all of my St. Francois alum sisters. I am so proud to see some of our members of the North American chapter as well on this meeting, Portia, Joanne, and I'm certain there are others. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is truly my distinct honor to bring greetings on behalf of the St. Francois Girls College Alumni Association of North America. I'm not going to be long because you've already heard about some of the ways that we've collaborated with the Alum Association in Trinidad. However, I just wanted our sisters to know who we are. All right, so we were formed as an organization back in September 2017, and this is where our alumni came together and decided that we were going to establish a formal or nonprofit organization so that we too can give back to the school, to support our students, and to support you, the Alumni Association in Trinidad and Tobago. And so though we were meeting many years before, many of the alumni were meeting in person. But this was our opportunity to be active. So our membership includes our alum here in the United States as well as in Canada, and hence the name North America. We are independent of the group in Trinidad and Tobago, but we work collaboratively. And as you've heard, there have been many conversations so that we can have even greater collaborative events and so forth. Just to keep with our mission, I just wanted to share with some of the ladies some of the key things that we've been doing. We have held a couple of financial fundraising events that have been successful. Prior to COVID, we were able to do that as one of our major fundraising efforts. However, just like you, we have been limited and had to be creative and roll back. But we were able to successfully donate books to the library, of roughly 1,500 books that we were able to donate. We have supported the technology and the access within the school. Most recently, we actually helped support, I believe it's Block B, to support the technology in that space. And we have also had a very generous donor who actually donated to our Alumni Association the 28 used laptops that you heard about earlier. And I do want to thank Portia Golden Allen for that effort as well, because she really connected us with that funder. And there have been some who, like Joanne Phillips Spencer, who have helped us to make sure that we can get those laptops sent to the school. And additionally, we have also provided a number of workshops, mentorship programs, and training opportunities. Some of the teachers at St. Francis were able to participate in that. And some of the young ladies have had the opportunity to be mentored by some of the alumni. And we have held a couple of meet and greet networking events, not only in Washington, D.C., but also in New York. And that has been very successful for us because it was an opportunity to connect our women, not just on a social stance, but also to stay united and give back to the school and to support the efforts there. And then last but not least, we have a desire to continue to work closer with the Alumnae Association in Trinidad and Tobago. And it is our hope that we can work closely with the new board that is coming in as we continue to collaborate for the benefit of our beloved alma mater, and to really pour into the lives of our little sisters. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity, for allowing us to be part of what you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Webb. And while Dr. Webb was speaking, the word that I kept hearing was collaboration. And collaboration is key as we try to work on behalf of our sisters at St. Francis Girls College. That being said, our next speaker this afternoon is the current principal of St. Francis Girls College, Mrs. Pasha Sicharan. Mrs. Sicharan would have taught some of us, many of us, including myself. So it's lovely to see that she is the principal at the moment. Just before Ms. Sicharan comes on, though, I know teachers don't like to toot their own horns, so I will do it for her. Mrs. Sicharan has been a teacher at St. Francis Girls College for over 30 years. She has taught physics and chemistry and has been a senior teacher for 8 years. She has been the head of department for math science and computer science for 15 years, principal, for a year and a half, and the current principal for almost 2 years. Mrs. Sicharan is married with 2 children. So, Mrs. Sicharan, you can go ahead.
Hello and good evening, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor this afternoon to be talking to such esteemed people. It is my pleasure to address the St. Francis Girls College alumni this afternoon on the occasion of your annual general meeting. Someone once said, "Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today." As an institution with responsibility for preparing students for the future, you would agree that this responsibility is certainly an onerous one. We also recognize that it is one that schools cannot carry out by themselves, more so now in the challenging times in which we live. Stakeholders are the partners of the school leaders in making the schools conducive to teaching and learning. They are also responsible for the achievement of the learning outcomes through their active participation in school activities, programs, and projects. In this regard, I would like to acknowledge and thank all the alumni of St. Francois Girls College for your gracious support over the years. Specifically, I would like to thank the association for its recent financial contribution of almost $46,000, which went a long way towards the ICT upgrade. And as I go on, I will come back to talk about other contributions that were made. In addition, I would like to highlight the character development program, which is being led by Dr. Donami Knights, the class of 79, for which we are very grateful. This program was aligned to our efforts to empower our students at the college. The program involves many different aspects of life, some of which we know students don't appreciate at this time in their lives, but certainly will play a valid part in their future: etiquette, deportment, history of the school, just to name a few. We look forward to strengthening the collaboration and partnership with the association. As many of you are aware, I assumed the position of acting principal in December 2019 on the retirement of Mrs. Gittins, who worked at the school for the past 13 years. At this time, a number of areas were identified for further enhancing the culture of the school, thereby making it more conducive to teaching and learning. When I came in, my main mission was to improve the grades of the students. But we had to do that not by focusing first on teaching and learning, but rather by improving the discipline of the school. And I felt that if we went that way, we improve the discipline, we improve the grades, we improve teachers' morale, things will certainly look up. And in the short time we were there face to face, there was certainly an improvement from the feedback that I got. We are continuing to work towards that. However, we know COVID came and put a damper on all of that, and our entire focus had to be shifted. I will come back to that. COVID has become the largest disruptor to education, from putting in safety protocols to infrastructure, next to the closure of school, the loss of teaching time, and to a move to online teaching and learning, compounded by the lack of and often ambiguous policy guidelines from the Ministry of Education. We have worked with several of our stakeholders in installation of hand sinks, hand washing sinks, signage, the barrier in the office and the library, purchasing of supplies for hand sanitizers and cleaning materials, just to name a few. We developed and implemented protocols for conducting school-based assessments and examinations for our students. The closure of schools and the move to online classes also brought with it the challenges of preparing teachers and students to the mode of instruction and the monitoring of teachers and students. And trust me, it has been a challenge. However, we were helped in this way, since many of our teachers took part in ICT training provided by the Ministry of Education prior to COVID. We would have had at least 30 teachers taking part in such training. So the shift for some of them was a little bit easier than the others. In September of 2020, we did an in-house training session. We did we had face-to-face teachers, about 15, coming in physically to the school, and we had about another 15 to 20 students, teachers taking part in the training online. That collaboration has improved, has continued to the extent where anybody running into a problem just post a question, post whatever problem it is on the teacher's chat, and the help is forthcoming. We have been able to successfully meet these challenges. However, you all would appreciate that it is still a work in progress. As we prepare for the partial reopening of school, we are currently working on carrying out further enhancements to our ICT infrastructure to facilitate both synchronous and asynchronous teaching, catering for both students and school at home. And when I talk about this, we recently purchased 16 access points. And what these access points will do, once mounted in the classroom, it will enable the entire student body in the classroom to have wireless connection. This is important because it leads us directly into our goal to make the school ready for CSEC and CAPE examinations being done online. After the purchase of those 16 access points, a company called DigiData through the government came into the school and will do the examination rooms, which will be 7 rooms where they will install this access point. So in addition to the 16 we purchased, we also have another 7 which will be provided to the school. It means that we can spread out our 16 to the other classrooms, and it should be a more efficient system rather than having 2 classrooms share 1 access point. Moving on a little bit, we recognize that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought a severe social, mental, economic hardship to many of our students. These areas which you assisted from your association was welcome. I will come back to talk about that as well. Ladies, San Francisco Girls College has over the years produced many prominent individuals who have made significant contributions both nationally and internationally. I believe as principal, along with the members of staff, we have a duty to ensure that San Francisco Girls College provides an education second to none, which meets the requirements of the 21st century. As I end, I want to once again thank the association for the support and its continuing partnership as we face the ongoing challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you, and I'm not finished, I'm coming back. And I was so flabbergasted to hear me being introduced that of course I forgot the initial part of my speech, which was the salutations. Forgive me please, but I must go back to them. Ms. Nicole Noel, Chairman, Ms. Felicia Sylvester, President of the San Francisco Girls College Alumnae, Executive Members, Dr. Astral Webb of the North American Chapter, past students. And I would have continued. It is my honor and pleasure. So please forgive me for that big bumble that I did there. I know that was not what you expected, but it is extremely difficult to put together a report like this. And I want to continue because after doing that last night, I got up whatever time this morning and started writing down all that I know you are interested in hearing about the school and the operations of the school. At this point, I must convey sincere condolences on the passing of our friend and colleague, Miss Maureen Charles Stewart, class of 1980. And I know a moment of silence was observed initially. Once again, condolences to all her colleagues. I will start and I will try to give you a very in-depth report of the operations of the school from December 2019 when I took over. Again, it keeps going back and forth because it's a little bit difficult. Just give me 1 second, let me find my bearings. Right. On Mrs. Gittins leaving, the first thing we had, the first event was the pan in the Savannah, in which we came second. That was really my first experience being so involved with this competition. I saw aspects of life in San Francisco that I never saw before, that I came to appreciate and miss. I saw parents, I saw staff members, I saw people I didn't know come and spend nights at San Francisco from as early as 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes people were there until all 11 o'clock in the night, providing lighting for the students, moving of pans. And I will name a few of the people. Mr. Samuel, some of you may know him. He is our in-house residential AC man, for want of a better word right now. Mr. Samuel works for the college. We had Mr. Devines, who is our handyman. Some of you may know him. Mr. Devines is always there. If a door falls off the hinges at 10 o'clock in the morning, I can call Mr. Devines and he will respond. We had people like Mr. Aliong, who is the conductor of the band. We have a teacher, Mr. Thomas, who is there day and night with the students, and Mr. Samuel and company, trying to make sure that everything is all right for these girls. And on the second occasion, the second celebration we had was Achievement Day. And at that Achievement Day, I felt it necessary to recognize the contributions of Mr. Samuel, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Aliong, Mr. Devines, and not only the gentlemen, but their wives also. Because when the men are out all hours of the day and night, the ladies of the houses are the ones who are in charge and who really sacrifice quite a bit. So on that occasion, we provided the men with tokens and we provided their wives with flowers, something which was not done before at the college. And again, from feedback, it was widely appreciated. And from that, we moved on. We moved on to sports. Again, it was a combination of sports and carnival, because the year before we celebrated carnival. This year was 2020 was supposed to be sports, but because we are San Francisco, we cannot give up the carnival. So we sort of merged the two of them together, and we had our sports/carnival celebration at Fatima Grounds. It was an extremely successful event. And then came COVID hitting us on the 13th of March, schools were closed, and we shifted to online teaching. Of course, with online teaching came everything that we never ever could have imagined. We moved into mock exams, which would have started at the end of March, and how to do these mock exams. And we were fighting with it, how to get this thing done, while CXC, the examining body, was trying to figure out what kind of exam to give the students. Schools were closed for quite a while, but preparation by the teachers, especially for the upper forms, we had a tutor to deal with as well. while tutor was asking teachers not to do this and not to do that, the administration was pleading with teachers to keep on teaching, do something, assign some work to the classes and so on. Of course, the majority of people stepped forward and did what they had to do. The results could have been better. We wished it was better. We knew it would have been better if the original exam with all the 2 papers were done. But we dealt with it and we moved on. Many
Mr. Charan,
reviews, yes.
sorry, in the interest of time, especially with the curfew, just reminded me, if you can wrap up in a couple of minutes, I'd really
Okay,
appreciate the
sure,
question.
not a problem.
Thank you.
So I will leave out all of that. As you all know, the school was opened on several occasions for people to come and get their books. We continue to deal with that. We continue to lend parents books. Many parents are indicating that because of financial constraints, they cannot get books to buy, they cannot afford the books or uniforms. We are helping with that. The laptops that were donated, the first set of laptops came from a Dr. Brown, who is the aunt of a teacher at the school. This was last year. We got 20 laptops. Those laptops went to students of Form 6s who we felt needed those, and we assigned the tablets to Form 5s and down. With the second batch of laptops that came in this year, I cleared it, I got the documentation, and then a customs officer agreed to help me speed up the process. That has been delayed a while, and I hope that by Monday she can deliver those laptops to me. Again, we are starting with our examination classes first, and then we will move on to the lower school. By the time we have finished, every child in the school should have a device. I am sure that can be done. I know I have to wrap up. This week we had orientation for the Form 1s, which was a great success. We thank Ms. Felicia Sylvester, the godmother, for her contribution. We had Ms. James, our clerk typist, going on pre-retirement leave from Monday the 27th. So on Thursday, we did a very brief in-house send-off for Ms. James, which was a success. We have Ms. Sharanji, who should be going on pre-retirement leave. She's the acting vice principal. In December, we hold on and we wait to see how that is going to pan out, because we are not sure at this moment. Let me once again express extreme gratitude for all the contributions, monetary, as well as all the laptops, all the devices we have had. For the hampers that were given by the PTA, by the alumni, the students were extremely grateful. And please, I heard one comment that the communication with the administration earlier was not good. We really strive to improve that, and we wait for contact from you to see how we can work together for the interest of the school and to move forward. With that being said, I thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sicharan. Yes, and we will be hearing from the alumni, and thank you for the comprehensive report. So at this juncture, ladies, we go to the election of officers. I'm going to turn the meeting over to our election officer this afternoon, who is Mr. Lana Sampson.
Hi, good afternoon, fellow alumni. I'm pleased to start the election process for 2 vacant positions on our executive Okay, I do apologize about that. So our two vacant positions are the position of treasurer and secretary. What I'm going to do is to share my screen with you so I can provide you with an overview of those two positions. Okay. So I believe you should all be seeing my screen. Right. So the position of treasurer, position summary as per our constitution. The treasurer shall receive the membership fees and all financial donations to the alumni and shall generally have the care, custody, and management of all the funds of the alumni. She is responsible for depositing the funds of the alumni in its name as directed by the executive committee and for submitting financial statements or reports, as required by the executive committee. Secretary, position summary. The secretary shall record and keep the minutes of all the meetings of the executive committee and submit reports to the executive. The secretary shall also receive applications for membership to the alumni and perform such other duties as the executive committee requires. Okay, so for today's voting process, we would invite nominations and voting via show of hands. We will not allow for voting to take place in the chat. Okay, so you will need to show your hands for your vote to be recognized. We would have shared communications prior to today's AGM, inviting nominations for both these positions. We would have received nominations for both positions. Of course, we would invite if there are anyone who's willing to put themselves forward for either position, or if we have anyone willing to nominate someone, that can be done in today's meeting. So we received a pre-nomination for the position of treasurer, our current assistant treasurer, Ms. Stacy Christopher. Can we have Stacy confirming that she's accepting this nomination for the position of treasurer?
I am confirming I am accepting the position of treasurer. Nomination. Thanks, Cassandra.
Okay. Thank you, Stacy. Can we have a seconder for Stacy's nomination for the position of treasurer, please? Okay, thank you, Denise, for your seconding of that nomination. Okay, do we have any additional nominations for the position of treasurer? Sorry. Vanessa?
I'm sorry, my hand went up by mistake. That's okay.
Okay,
sorry.
No problem. Thank you. Okay, Vanessa. Okay, so I'm just asking again to confirm, do we have any further nominations to the position of treasurer? No. By show of hands? Okay, so that's seems like we don't have any additional nominations. So given that we have no additional nominations, what I'd like to do is to confirm Ms. Stacy Christopher into the position of treasurer. So congratulations, Stacy. You are our new treasurer. Okay. Sorry, dropped off. Okay. Now with Stacy moving into the position of treasurer, we will now have the position of assistant treasurer becoming vacant. We will go to voting and accepting nominations for that position later on. We now move to the position of secretary. We would have had a pre-nomination for Ms. Esther Calendar George. Esther, can you confirm your acceptance of this nomination, please? You unmute her? Did you unmute her? Okay, she searched.
Okay, hi. Good afternoon. Yes, I'm confirming.
Okay, thank you very much, Esther. Can we have a seconder for this nomination? Okay, thank you very much to our president, Ms. Felicia Sylvester. Do we have any additional nominations to the position of secretary? Sorry. Okay, we don't seem to have any additional hands. Esther, I would like to just invite you to share, just 2 words about yourself before we confirm your nomination.
Hi, sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esther Calendar George. I am from the class of 1999. I'm just a little background. I am currently the vice president of the QRC PTA. So it was really good to see that there is an alliance with the QRC OBA as well. Mom of 3. My professional side into IT, I'm actually manager for IT risk and security, more on the information security side. I have been past QRC PTA secretary, so I'm hoping that I could bring some of those skills as well to the alumni. And generally, I'm a fun, easygoing person, hoping to bring my network and my skills to support our sisters at the college. Open to questions if anything.
Thank you very much, Esther. So we'd like to confirm Ms. Esther Calendar George into the position of secretary with no contestants. Congratulations, Esther. We look forward to working with you. So now we move along to the position of assistant treasurer, which has become vacant with Ms. Stacy Christopher moving into the position of treasurer. Are there any nominations? Oh, before I move on, we do have one nomination that came in for this position. It is actually an absentee nomination. And it's from Ms. Sherry Hazel Lonnie, who is a past student from 1999, sorry. I got that wrong. Yes. Ms. Sherry Hazeloni shared an overview of herself with us, which I would take the opportunity to read. Sherry is an illustrious public servant with close to 15 years experience in the administrative and research field. She's currently employed as a senior planning officer at the Ministry of Planning and Development, which involves liaising with internal departments and state agencies on various government projects and programs. She's also involved in the preparation of speeches, reports, and responses to requests from Parliament. Sherry holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics and Mathematics, and has a master's in Business Administration. In addition to being a public servant, Sherry is happily married with 3 loving children. She's committed to family and is a devoted member of the Anglican Church. Her interests include cooking, reading, fitness, and occasionally word and search puzzles. So we thank Sherry for her nomination and for accepting that nomination. Unfortunately, Sherry could not be with us today due to prior engagements, but we are willing to accept her nomination. Is there a seconder for Sherry's nomination? It's being seconded by our president, Felicia Sylvester. Thank you very much. Do we have any additional nominations for the position of assistant treasurer? By show of hands? Okay. Okay. Simone, here?
Hi, I'd like to nominate Colleen Jeffers.
Okay. Thank you for your nomination, Simone. Colleen Jeffers. Kindly advise if you'll be accepting this nomination. If it's, you could search for honey.
Hi.
Hi, Colleen.
Yeah, I confirm the nomination.
Okay, Colleen, so what I'm asking is, would you be willing to accept the nomination for the position of Assistant Treasurer?
Yes.
Okay, great. So for everyone, Colleen is presently our Assistant Secretary. Okay, so can we have a seconder for Colleen's nomination for this position? Okay, Anita, Vanessa.
Yes, I am Vanessa Ford. I second.
Okay,
Colleen
thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have any additional nominations for the position of Assistant Treasurer? We seem to have no additional hands being raised. So we have two nominations. Ms. Sherry Hazeloni, who is not present with us this afternoon, and Ms. Colleen Jeffers. So now we will put this to vote. Again, voting is strictly by raise of hands. So we will start off first with all in favor of Ms. Sherry Hazeloni being our Assistant Treasurer. Please raise hands. Sherry. Okay, so we seem to have 11 votes for Ms. Sherry Hazeloni for the position of Assistant Treasurer. I'm just going to give you, okay, we've lost one vote, so we've gone to 10. I'm just going to give you a few moments again to confirm. Okay, so we have 10 votes for Sherry Hazeloni. Okay, it's 1 to 10 again. Okay, so we seem to have 11 votes for Sherry, and I'm closing off the voting at this point. Okay, we now move to voting for Colleen Jeffers. All in favor of Colleen Jeffers as our Assistant Treasurer by raising your hands, please. No, you took down all the hands. Okay, so we're going to pause on the voting for Colleen because we just want to make sure that there's no mixing of votes. Okay, thank you for your patience, everyone. We will now proceed with the voting for Colleen Jeffers for the position of Assistant Treasurer. So all in favor of Colleen Jeffers for this position, kindly raise your hands. Okay, so we seem to have 9 votes for Colleen Jeffers for this position. I'm about to close the voting for this position. So if there's anyone else. Okay, so we have 9 votes for Colleen. So for the position of Assistant Treasurer, we had 2 nominees, Ms. Sherry Hazeloni, who is not here with us, 11 votes, and Ms. Colleen Jeffers, 9 votes. So by way of votes, our new Assistant Treasurer is Ms. Sherry Hazeloni. Thank you very much, everyone, for voting. And thank you very much to both candidates. Colleen, we are happy to still see that you're going to be with us in the position of Assistant Secretary. So that brings our voting process to a close. Thank you very much, fellow sisters. I'll hand back over to our chairperson at this point. I'd also like to remind everyone that we do have a registration form in the chat box that we would like everyone who has attended today's session to complete. It would assist us in having an appreciation of the persons who have attended this meeting. And also any persons who have not made their financial contributions for this year. I know we would have said earlier that we're accepting votes and nominations from persons who may not be financial members at this point. You completing that form would assist us in the follow-up process because we would know you'd have taken part in today's proceedings. So we would reach out to you just to, as a reminder if it is we do not receive your contributions. And we do invite you as well, if it is you do have friends, sisters who would have not been able to participate in today's session, if you can give them the reminder for us, letting them know, we would appreciate they making their payments. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alana. And congratulations to our new executive members, Mrs. Cheryl Hazel-Looney and Esther Leacock. So, Esther, I'm sorry, Esther. Esther, I apologize, I've rechristened you. Esther Calendar George. So, as we go forward, I'd just like to remind members of our, or thank our outgoing executive and introduce to you the members of the incoming executive for 2021-2022. Our president remains Ms. Felicia Sylvester. Our vice president, Soneria Williams. Our secretary is Candice Marks. Our assistant secretary is Carleen Jeffers Bilal. Yes, Carleen Jeffers Bilal. The incoming board. Sorry, incoming ladies, forgive me. I am multitasking. I'll be going over the incoming board. Our president is Felicia Sylvester. Our vice president is Soneria Williams. And while I'm speaking, you'll see the outgoing executive being highlighted on the screen. Our secretary is Esther Calendar George. Esther, find out about that Leacock in your family. Find out about it. Esther Calendar George. Our assistant secretary remains Carleen Jeffers Bilal. Our incoming treasurer is Stacy Christopher. Our assistant treasurer is Sherry Looney. I suspect I'm leaving out a part of Sherry's name. That's okay. Sherry Hazel Looney. Our PRO remains Alana Sampson. Our assistant PRO is Asha Stewart. And the trustees remain Pamela Batiste, Patricia Hines, and myself, Nicole Noel. So once again, congratulations to the new members of the executive. We look forward to working with you. Right now, we go to other business. So, Carleen, is there anything that you would like to mention? And in addition to which, ladies, if there's any other business that you wish to raise, now would be the time to do so.
Hi, good evening.
fellow alums, just wanted to remind you ladies
Colleen,
that
we're
we
not
have a
hearing you.
number of memorabilia items on sale. You're not hearing?
Right. Go ahead, Colleen, see if you're.
So, again, you hear me now? You hear me now, Nicole?
Let's meet in Colleen. She's still not here now. Colleen, it's still you're still getting unmute that you're. I'm not hearing you, and I'm seeing that you're muted.
We hearing her.
Okay, Denise says she's hearing us, so maybe it's something with my microphone.
Okay, you hearing me?
Can someone else indicated they're hearing her?
Yes, we hearing her.
Okay. Okay. Hi, good evening,
Okay,
ladies.
go ahead,
Just-
Colleen. I think the problem might be me. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening. Just to remind you that we have a couple of memorabilia items on sale. Anyone wishing to purchase, they can contact Jacinta Simongal at 791-0694 or myself at 289-9012. We have a couple of t-shirts, lanyards, water bottles, tote bags, a number of lovely items. So please feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Colleen. It's always good to say thank you. So I'll ask our Vice President, Sonia Ria, to give thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Madam President, Mrs. Felicia Sylvester, fellow members of the Executive Committee, President of the North American Chapter, Dr. Astral Webb, Principal of St. Francois Girls College, Mrs. Pasha Sicharan, and our fellow sisters joining us today. My name is Sonia Ria Williams, Vice President of the Alumnae, and it is my honor to give a vote of thanks to all those who contributed to our AGM. Firstly, I would like to thank our President, Mrs. Felicia Sylvester, for her detailed report on the activities of the Alumnae over the past year. It would be remiss of me not to acknowledge you for your courage and commitment to steering the ship this past year and navigating the path of the Executive Committee and all our undertakings during this period of uncertainty due to the COVID-19 pandemic. To my colleagues of the Executive Committee, I also say thank you for your dedication and hard work, for tirelessly giving of your time to ensure that we continue to support our school, our current and past students, as well as each other. A special thank you for the effort that went into making today possible. Our Secretariat, Candice Marks and Colleen Jeffers Bilal, for a thorough presentation of the minutes of the last AGM and ensuring the administrative details were in place. Our finance team, Jacinta Simongal and Stacey Christopher, for monitoring and preparing the necessary financial records. Our public relations team, Alana Sampson and Asha Stewart, for consistently maintaining the Alumnae's social media presence and keeping us all updated regarding events and important information. To our trustees, Patricia Hines, Pamela Batiste, and Nicole Noel, for your expert advice and support to the committee. We especially thank Patricia for supporting the team in the planning of today's event and Nicole for chairing this meeting. Dr. Astral Webb, thank you for the greetings from the North American chapter. We take this opportunity to publicly thank you and the entire chapter, including Mrs. Portia Golding Allen and Mrs. Joanne Phillips Spencer, for the support you continue to give to our school and local chapter. We look forward to continued collaboration as well as in uniting our sisters here and in other parts of the world. So Mrs. Sicharan, Your update on our school was very informative and has provided a context that reiterates the critical role played by our alumni. We thank you and your administration for your commitment to the students, the alumni, and its undertakings as we all work together to care for, encourage our little sisters, and sustain the brand that is St. Francois, even after our girls transition from secondary school to their future endeavors. The Parent Teachers Association, led by its president, Mr. Ramirez, we thank you for allowing us to lean on you as we share the importance of our sisterhood and look forward to continued collaboration with your organization as well. To two of our sisters exiting the executive committee, Jacinta and Candace, thank you for your service as treasurer and secretary respectively, and the passion you have shown for the betterment of our school. We know this is not goodbye, as your enthusiasm for all things St. Francois remains. To our past presidents, Jillian Roach, Donna Romilly, Celicia Andrews, Tammy Cato, your immense contributions over the years have not gone unnoticed, and we appreciate you and all the ways you still support our school and the alumni. Finally, thank you to all alumni. We would not be able to support our sisters without you. Those of you here with us today, those leading initiatives for our school, such as the Character Development Program, your support of fundraising events such as a Taste of Christmas, your many donations, your tuning in and likes for the Green, Gold, Black and White check-in series, and support on all our social media platforms. Those of you who continue to support in any way possible. A heartfelt thank you as well to Ms. Vanessa Ford. Thank you to all of you who continuously spread the word and represent our sisterhood. We are eternally grateful to you, our dear sisters, in this partnership of my St. Francois, your St. Francois, our St. Francois. Okay, Nicole, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sonia Ria. So ladies, oh my gosh, my screen, forgive my screen. I don't know what's going on with it. Before we go, we once again like to say thank you, wish everyone all the best in these times, take care of yourselves. And we look forward to seeing you at our next general meeting. And we would like to invite members to feel free to contact the alumni with whatever concerns you may have. Feel free to give feedback. Feel free as well to volunteer your time to work along with the alumni on various committees. Feel free to give assistance when it comes to fundraising. We do need some expertise when it comes to the raising of funds. We thank you once again for your time, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Again, once again, thank you for typing your name if you've done so. If you have not yet, please type your name before you go. Have a good evening, everyone.